of the balance. You get rest, you get this, you got that. But let's think about what a family vacation looks like oftentimes. Like, I love, one of the things I do, I hate the drive, but I like the car ride because it forces us in a close proximity for multiple hours and forced to talk. So yeah, we can fly to we can fly to Houston easily. But
Wait,
I
do
found
wait a minute, do you take the phones?
it's we let them have it, but there's also phone downtime. Like
Okay.
we it
Okay.
just because it really also depends on mood, what's going on, traffic flow. Because I'll be real, I got flaws, and I got
Well, yeah. Sometimes
man,
one
the
of the
traffic. I
right.
just golly, but
Sometimes bad kids.
right, and then it's like, all right, but ultimately we communicate. We have to rely on each other, especially husband and wife. If I'm driving, hey, look this up. Can you look? Where are we eating? What are we doing? There's constant communication required on vacation because you're in a unfamiliar place with unfamiliar people, right? So you're having to rely on communication. If you look at a husband and wife on vacation together,
Communication, working together.
right? It's team building.
Right, teamwork.
Family vacation is secret team building.
Right.
It's also intentional time devoted to rest. It's intentional time devoted to spouse. It's intentional time devoted to children.
I'm going to put a caveat. It can be.
It can be.
Go
It
ahead.
can be.
Right.
So I try to take the kids something in the morning. My son will get up once or twice during vacation with me, and we'll go do some, have some breakfast, whatever. Great bonding time, two of us. Same thing with my daughter.
Right.
But there's constant communicate. What are we doing today? Can we go here? I would like to go do this. And we're taking as a team, we're taking in what everybody wants to do and trying to decide.
And that's the key, right? As a team,
Right.
we take in everything everyone wants to do, and we try to figure out how to get all those needs met.
Right.
It breaks down when you have one person just does not want to do
Right.
whatever that other thing is. I'll give you an example. I had my grandchildren over last weekend, and they spent the night. And I cook them breakfast, pancakes, and at any rate, I was going to do hamburgers. I said breakfast, but even before that the night before, the grill, and I said, y'all want hamburgers? We're gonna do that morning. The next, we're gonna do hot dogs. We're gonna do hot dogs. So the two girls says hot dogs, and then my grandson says, "Well, I want a hamburger." Just because they wanted a hot dog, he wanted a hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna upset the apple cart.
Right, right.
And so I now have to override that and say, you know what? It's a democracy. They voted on hot dogs. You got to eat a hot dog. I don't want to eat a hot dog. Now, prepared a hot dog anyway. What do you think he did?
He ate it.
He ate the hot dog.
And that's the thing. It's communication, teamwork, and we're going out. I mean, you're forced to. The thing about a man and woman on vacation that went together, he's not looking around and talking to other women because he's there with her.
Maybe he's not.
Maybe he's. I mean, it's unlikely.
hope that he's
We
not.
hope. I mean, if you flew all the way out there or drove out there
I've
with
seen
her,
some people fighting on vacation.
Oh, I have too. I've been one of those people before. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But if you really look at overall, you're going out there with the intent to have a good time.
Oh, yes.
And so your mind is set, right? The mind is set to good time. Mind is set to good time. The only time that you don't is when that expectation that you set is not met. Whether that's he was looking at her, she slept in, whatever the case is. But if you really look at the intimacy that can be achieved when you vacation with a spouse or with your full family unit, there's something special that takes place because you are truly dependent on each other. There's one car if you have a car on vacation, right? There's one. We got to come to an agreement because we only got one car.
Right.
There's just a lot of we got to eat together. So where are we eating? It forces that camaraderie that we typically get. We're able to fall into flow with work, but not always at home.
But speaking of again vacations and teamwork, when Flo and I had kids and we would go on vacation, even sometimes without the kids, she would always want to do something I just absolutely didn't want to do.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
And I'd go there reluctantly, and I'd be upset about it, and I'd be pouting, and I just would not have a good time. Then in turn, she wouldn't have a good time because I, was acting the way I was, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that we came up with, we concluded, I tell you what, when we go on vacation, let's list all the things that we want to do, okay? And she listed all the things she wanted to do, and I listed all the things that I wanted to do. And then we said, okay, we can do this together. We can do these things together. And now we set that aside. Now we got these other things. And then we said, okay, of these things, which ones do you absolutely don't want to do? And that's why I really don't want to do that. And she'll say, well, I really don't want to do that. So we set those aside. Okay. So now we are left with a couple activities. Mm-hmm. And what you're saying is then, or what we're saying is that these activities here, we ain't that fond of them, but we can tolerate them. We won't have attitudes, and we can do them together and compromise. Ooh, what about that word?
Yeah.
Compromise takes a lot of that in these relationships. And so we learned to do that. We learned to compromise. And there was no fussing or fighting, because I already knew she was going to go do whatever, and I wasn't going with her, and vice versa. Right. And then those things that we agreed not to do, we didn't do them. Those things we agreed to do together, boom.
It's like what Brandon said as we wrap up offline. When we were talking, does it add value? So I guess a takeaway is for those that are going on vacations, or maybe you haven't had the greatest vacation, and these are some of the reasons